Hi everyone, Danielle here. I'm doing an overview of Phanerozoic. This is a game by Pepijn van Loon and art by Louise Golby. This is going to be published by Broken Mill, and they are going to be launching this game on Kickstarter very soon. Thank you to the game designer for sending me this prototype preview copy. Um, as you know, prototype games are not final, so the art, the rules, everything is subject to change. So keep that in mind as you watch this overview. So this game is solo friendly. It goes up to 4 players, takes about 45 minutes to play, and is ages 9 and up. So I do want to go over kind of what, is out here and set up for you. So to start off, we have these population cards. They are double-sided. They range from 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 8. And these are your population cards. These will track the population value of your living animals or living plants. And you'll also notice I have the player reference card here, and I'm using this population card to track the rounds. In a solo game, you will be playing 8 rounds. You'll see this big deck of cards here. These will be filled with a deck of event cards, mutation cards, and the animal and plant cards. So just to give you a little preview of what the cards look like, this is a plant. You'll see that there are icons on the bottom, there's icons on the top, there's locations and, something that might pertain to another phase. So lots going on with these cards. This is an event card. Um, and this is a mutation card. Mutation cards kind of have two ends to them, depending on the orientation. So this is the orientation where you would apply this to an animal as a mutation. And then you'll turn it around, and this orientation would be the plant side. So very cool use of the cards here. We'll get that shuffle. Oops. Okay. During setup, you would locate the algae and the trilobita cards. The algae will start with a population of 1, so you just put it on top of a population card. Make sure that the 1 is visible at the top. And then this one starts at population 3. During setup for a solo game, you will also grab 2 gold cards for yourself and 2 gold cards for the automa. If you want to make it a little bit more difficult when playing the automa, you can just randomly choose one to be face down, and then the other one would be face up and visible to you so that you're kind of like aware of what the automa might be looking for to score their points. So how it works with these goals is that if you have any of these in the specific locations, this means the extinction pile or the discard, and this means it's currently in a living row, either the plant or animal, and you'll score accordingly. You might also lose points, which I find is interesting, where if it's in the extinction pile, if it's an animal, you get -2 per animal in the extinction pile, -2 for a plant. So those are all the cards right now. We'll get started into a sample turn. So in a solo game, you draft a little bit differently than you would in a multiplayer game. You'll actually draw yourself 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And out of these 10 cards, you're going to want to pick 3 of them. When you start the game, you might want to choose a mutation card. So again, mutation cards look like this. They're kind of like have 2 sides to them, one for the plant, one for the animal side. And you'd want to do that because looking at the animal cards or plant cards, for example, this animal, you actually need to see these requirements on a existing living plant or animal to fulfill the bottom of this card so that you can actually play it into the living card row. So in this instance, you really wouldn't be able to do too much with the animal or living plant cards just yet until you mutate. So I think I'm actually going to grab definitely this card because I'm looking at my gold card and I'll need a living plant with that icon that matches this. So I think that'll be helpful for me. I also do want to be mindful about the top right of these cards. So this tells me what happens if I discard these cards when I play them. This will increase the population for animal cards, and this will increase the population value for the plant cards. All right, so I'm going to choose this event card as well as part of my hand. And then one more card I'll choose this Gazella. Go ahead and do that. And then what's neat is that the cards you don't choose end up being the Automa deck. So you go ahead and just shuffle those 7 cards remaining and place them in a deck. So this is our hand, and we'll kind of set it aside for now because the Automa always goes first during the action phase. So what we did was just the draft phase. Again, drawing 10 cards, picking 3 cards, the remaining 7 cards go to the Automa. So now we're moving on to the second phase, action phase. We get to decide if we play, discard, or keep a card. So those are the 3 things we can decide to do for each card. Let's see what the Automa does. They'll simply just flip over the top card and take a look. So they can't evolve. We don't have any plants that have all of these icons and 2 stars yet. So right now, the only thing they can do is discard. So they're going to discard, and they're going to increase the population of the plant. We only have 1 plant, so the decision is easy on which one. So this goes up to 2. So that was their first action. Our first action will be to play this mutation card. I'm going to turn it this way and play it onto the plant. So simply just slide it under, and now it's under that plant. So now that has the icon, which is neat. Back to the Automa. We'll see what they do on the next turn. All right. So they can't, they still can't evolve anything because we don't have a plant with these icons that match and 2 stars. So they'll discard and increase this population to 3. And then our turn, we can decide to use either of these cards here. I'm going to decide to use this one and increase the population of the plant by 2. So now this is going to be a 5. And then my turn, the Automa turn will be, okay, so this is the first mutation card they'll play. Looking at both ends of these, it could either go on this plant or this animal. To determine the tiebreaker between which one it goes on, it will draw the next card, the number 38. So we're looking at the numbers. Which one is closest to number 38? Number 3 is closer. So we're going to put this on the plant end and put it right under here. So now this is actually going to be a size 2. That's what the stars mean. It's kind of like the size. So it's 2 stars and that 1 icon. And then my turn for this card will be to, so I can't actually evolve anything. I don't have it yet. But I think I'll keep. Or I think I will discard actually. I'll discard. So I'll add +1 to the population of this animal. So now it's at 4. And then the round basically is now moving on to the next phase. We each took 3 actions. So we'll go ahead and discard these. Now we move on to the nature phase. This is, I think, one of the most interesting phases of the game. So during the nature phase, you're going to check all the plants and then all the animals from left to right. So right now, this is pretty easy. We just have 1 plant and 1 animal. So let's start with the plant, and we check their growth requirements. If it's a sun, that means it'll automatically grow. And if it's anything else, then we'll kind of have to go through those steps. So this one has a sunlight, so we are going to grow. When it grows, it doubles its population, but it can only ever go up to 8. So this 5 won't go up to 10, but it will go up to 8 population. All right. So now moving on to the animal. So this animal will eat either a plant or another animal, and it will target the ones in its location. So there are three types of location. It just so happens that these plants are the same location. The location is kind of that bluish icon here. So both of these are in the same location. And so that means it's an easy pick anyway that's going to try to eat this plant. And in this case, you would have to determine the number of stars between these. So the size, again, is determined by the stars. The plant has 2. The animal currently has 1. So in that case, you have to understand that the hungry card, which is what the rulebook refers to, the card that's eating something, is the animal. So that's the hungry card. And since it is smaller than the target card, again, comparing the stars, it's going to grow by the amount of, well, this is going to decrease by half the amount rounded up. Let me back up there. So because this is larger than the trilobita, the way we calculate the population change is we look at the trilobita, we divide this by 2, so basically half that number is 2. So we decrease that from the 8, making this a 6. Okay. And then this would double in size, which becomes an 8. And that is the nature phase. So throughout the nature phase, there could be animals that become extinct. So basically, if the population becomes 0, you would remove everything and it goes into the extinction pile. And that's kind of what drives a lot of the negative scoring. So you want to maintain the population so that by the nature phase, it's going to survive. So as you can see, there's definitely a lot of kind of like planning and anticipating of what will happen in the nature phase during your action phase. So, if you're drafting cards and you're seeing, oh man, this population is really low, I'm going to need to find a way to increase it. Maybe an event card will help. Or maybe you want to evolve it and you see that, oh, it's just missing this one icon. I'm going to want to keep this card so that I can mutate it, give it that icon that I need, and then evolve it. And then, of course, with the automa, you do see their goals, obviously. So there are ways you can kind of mitigate. All right, I kind of don't want them to get +5 points with the Smilodon. So I'm going to make sure if that comes out, that's not going to be still living by the end of the 8 rounds. So I think this is very interesting. I think this game would appeal to any size group, even if you're just playing solo. I think there's a very fun kind of theme going on here. I'm excited to see the final product. Obviously, this is already so beautiful. I mean, take a close look at the backing here. The art is just so lovely and natural looking. I love that it's the shape of a tree, just showing all of the life in that image. But yeah, thanks again to Pepijn van Loon, the designer of the game, for sending me a copy of this. If you're interested in learning more, I'll have links in the description below so that you can look into backing this game on Kickstarter, or if you're watching this, much later, hopefully, possibly in retail. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what games you've been playing. And if you're not already subscribed, please do consider subscribing. I do content like this every week, if not more than once a week. And also a like or a comment would also always be appreciated. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.